you made it super hands-off for me and my teams.
Let's just start with your name, the company you work for, and what you do there.
So my name is Christa Zeladonis. I'm an event marketing manager at Appian. So we are a company based in the Washington, D.C. area. I'm really focused on process and AI. So we've got about 2,500 employees globally. So I run our sales incentive program, our sales kickoff, and work on our user conferences as well.
Awesome. And if you can remember, how did you hear about us? How did you hear about Monte Coe?
Yeah, so actually, Andrew, we were connected on LinkedIn. I have no idea for how long, but I believe you actually reached out to my colleague Lauren, and she put us in touch as we were starting to plan for our 2024 sales incentive program, and then, kind of connected at IMEX and continued the relationship that way.
That's a good call out, good memory. That is what happened, yeah. And then we met in person at IMEX, totally. We're working on a few things together, but maybe the last event that we helped with, can you just tell us a little bit about it, what it was for, where it took place?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first event we worked on together was our President's Club program. So that was held in April 2024 at the Four Seasons Marrakesh in Morocco. So really cool location. It was for about 60 of our guests, about 30 employees and their plus ones. So really our top performers, a great opportunity to recognize them and reward them for all their hard work.
By working with Monte Coe, was there a particular problem that you were trying to solve or identify in terms of the gifting?
Yeah, so I think gifting is kind of a unique beast, so to speak. And I think something that a lot of times I personally struggle with is finding something that's unique, that's new and different, and that's luxurious for, our top performers who realistically, they have the best of the best already. So what do you give them that still is a surprise and delight moment? So working with Monte Coe was a great solve for that because it's a brand that people probably don't know of, but super luxurious, really high quality, really well made. And it's just a perfect way to elevate stuff that they use every day. So for me, that was, the problem and solution. It kind of was a perfect marriage there.
What was one thing that comes top of mind in terms of Monte Coe that sort of made you choose us to partner with you on that particular and address those particular sort of pain points?
Yeah, definitely. So I think what was so appealing about Monte Coe when trying to solve those challenges was the products really spoke for themselves. Being able to, see and touch and feel and kind of experience firsthand the experience at IMEX was great for me to be able to see okay, this is a no-brainer. It's a great experience for our guests. But then on the flip side too, Andrew, you and Ron made working together so seamless. So I didn't call that out as a challenge, but it definitely, when you're juggling multiple programs and multiple deadlines, great to be able to work with partners who are just, so easy to work with, and they make me look good and make my job easier too.
What was one thing that maybe surprised you about working with us?
Surprised? I mean, I expected that you guys would be amazing to work with, but I think really you made it super hands-off for me and my team. So that was something that I really appreciated. There wasn't any follow-up of, so-and-so's asking about this, what's the timeline, because that always is going to happen, right? People are so excited to get their gifts after the event, but you guys were so proactive and so communicative and just made everything super seamless, even, down to following up and billing and things like that. So that, I don't know that I would say it was a surprise, but it kind of solidified my decision that you guys were going to be great.
Did you get any feedback from the guests or the attendees, once they got their products in their hands?
Actually, one that was actually kind of a recent comment. Funny enough, we're planning for 2025 now, and I was, chatting with one of our sales vice presidents saying this is kind of what we're thinking for next year. He was like, oh my God, he's like, I know we probably won't do the same thing again, but those Monte Coe bags we got last year were just phenomenal. We need something like that again. So, and that was in December that we were talking about this. So that was cool that, 6 months later, it was still top of mind. It's still something that he uses frequently. For someone who's been on a lot of club trips and who travels a lot, I think that was really high praise.
Really, really cool. Well, if he wants another one, we could just do it again next year.
Just one more time.
If you knew a colleague or someone in the industry that was looking for a gifting experience and maybe on the fence about whether they should work with Monte Coe or not, what advice would you give to that person?
Yeah, I would say definitely, as planners, we're always going to do our research. We're always trying to find new and trendy and interesting things to, provide for our attendees that are experiential, but that also add value and are actually going to enhance their lives, right? So I think it was a no-brainer, but, do your research, obviously. But I think the team at Monte Coe and the products really speak for themselves. So I think there's nothing to worry about working with you guys. You really make it a smooth process. Attendees loved it. On-site experience looked great. Everything was sharp and looked amazing. So really nothing but amazing things to say.